Kasama natin si Attorney James Reserva, professor po ng Political at Constitutional Law at isa rin pong board member, mga kapartner. Maayong hapon, Attorney. Welcome dito sa ating panghapong programang Makialam dito sa DZAR 1026 SMNI Radio. Maraming salamat po sa inyong oras.
Good afternoon, Admar. Good afternoon to your listeners and viewers. It's an honor to be invited in your program.
Opo. Dagdagan ko lang yung update, Attorney, ha? Kasi merong update po. Pwede ba nating ipalabas yung ano? Meron na po kasing update. Ito pong Korte Suprema. Okay? Meron silang press briefer. Sabi dito, the Supreme Court unbanked during its session today, April 8, 2026. Acted on GR number E-05546, Attorney Israelito Torion et al. Versus House of Representatives Committee on Justice, and GR E-05667, Sara Zimmerman Duterte versus House of Representatives. The SC consolidated the cases and without necessarily giving due course to the petitions, directed respondents to comment within a non-extendable period of 10 days from receipt of notice. The petitions question the constitutionality of the proceedings before the House Committee on Justice in relation to the impeachment complaints filed against Vice President Sara Duterte. Itong mga development na ito, yung paghain ng question o ng petisyon ng pangalawang Pangulo, tapos itong mabilis na hakbang ng Supreme Court. Ano po ang masasabi niyo po dito, Attorney?
Kudos to the Supreme Court because the case that is being filed before our Honorable Supreme Court is a case of transcendental importance. So, because of the nature of that case that requires urgency, action with dispatch, otherwise the matter will become academic. So, it's a good development that the Supreme Court has already acted on it by requiring the respondents to file comment within 10 days, non-extendable period. Magandang sinyalis yan na the Supreme Court is acting because there seems to be a need to allocate constitutional boundaries. Ang Supreme Court lang ang may duty, may role to see to it that the powers allocated to the branches of government are properly exercised and canalized within bounds, and it must be in accordance to its constitutional orbit. Yun ang magandang development yan, Admar.
So walang masama kung ang isang individual may posisyon man o wala, or dito sa kaso na ito, ang pangalawang Pangulo, wala pong masama na magpasaklolo ka kasi kung nakita mong may kamalian, duda ka kung ito ba'y legal o illegal na ayon sa konstitusyon o hindi, walang problema na ikaw ay lumapit sa Supreme Court para malinawan ang lahat. Kasi ang nangyayari ngayon, pinupuna ang pangalawang Pangulo, nagpapasaklolo, pinupuna yung kanyang hakbang, na kesyo umiiwas daw sa mga aligasyon. Totoo talaga yung aligasyon kasi umiiwas yung mga ganyan po na mga pahayag po, Attorney.
No, because it's not about the Vice President alone. It's all about the impeachable officials who might be treated the same. So at this time, it's better that these issues regarding exercise of unwarranted powers, alleged unwarranted powers, yun man ang position ngayon sa mga petitioners, dapat malinawan ito para to guide future impeachment proceedings. This is an opportunity that the limitations of the power of the House of Representatives to initiate all cases of impeachment must be clarified, because in many instances, the House of Representatives has abused this power. Like, for example, in the case of the BD, that's the time that the Supreme Court had the opportunity to define what constitutes initiation of an impeachment complaint, because without that clear guidance, abuses would come. An impeachable official who is an object of hatred from the powers that be might be an object of an harassment impeachment complaint. So that was an opportunity that no impeachment complaint shall be initiated against the same public official more than once in a year, and there has to be only one initiation. So maganda yun na nalinawan what constitutes initiation, because there is a one-year bar rule. Pangalawa, yung kaso ni Vice President Sara Duterte versus House of Representatives, yung last year na impeachment, the Supreme Court had the occasion to rule na kailangan hindi lang basta makuha lang yung signature, yun na. There has to be a process. So, mayroong mga requirements doon na the Supreme Court laid down insofar as if the second mode is being availed of, yung one-third, it's not enough that one-third is already achieved. There has to be a requirement na kailangan yung mga congressmen must be given, there has to be a basis that they have read the allegations of the impeachment complaint, they have verified it, and it must come from their personal knowledge, that they caused the preparation of the impeachment complaint. So, kailangan verified. So, yun, nabigyan yun ng parang guidance. Ito naman, ngayon, itong first mode na when the impeachment complaint is referred to the Committee on Justice, up to what extent that the Committee on Justice may conduct or may exercise its power to determine, after determining sufficiency in form and in substance, second, yung probable cause, at yung grounds, at saka yung hearing. Would that include improving the complaint? Does it include issuing subpoena of witnesses, documents, which are already part and parcel of trial proper, which the Constitution vests to the Senate, being the body that has the sole power to try and decide all cases of impeachment. In other words, ito bang action ngayon ng House of Representatives ay constitutional ba ito, or are they already, is the Committee on Justice is already conducting fishing expedition, which is not in accordance with the Constitution, which is not in accordance with their powers, because their power to initiate impeachment is only to see to it that there is a ground for impeachment, and then have it transmitted to the Senate in the event that they got the requirement of at least one-third votes of all the members of the House in the plenary. Yun ang magandang opportunity ngayon para mabigyang linaw naman kung ano talaga ang extent ng power of the House to initiate cases of impeachment.
And attorney, makakatulong din ito sa Kamara para makabuo sila ng rules nila sa pagtalakay sa impeachment at magiging pulido, lalo na for hinaharap. Kasi, di ba, kahit na sila ang gagawa ng rules, kailangan pa rin na naayon ito sa batas o sa konstitusyon.
Yes, Admar, kasi while the Constitution gives the Congress, the House, and the Senate to promulgate its own rules of procedure regarding impeachment, it doesn't mean that the rules will be beyond the Constitution or outside of the Constitution, because ours is a government of laws and not of men. The Constitution is the fundamental law of the land to which all other laws, rules must adhere. So yan talaga ang prinsipyo natin, kasi the only thing, the document that holds us together is the Constitution. Otherwise, it will become anarchy. Chaos and anarchy will happen if there is no Constitution that will guide these competing powers, these branches of government na binigyan din ng kapangyarihan. So, the Supreme Court, parang referee yan. So, hindi masama na pumunta tayo sa Supreme Court to seek refuge in the event that you feel that your rights are being violated.
Opo. Tama po ba, hindi marami ang mga nangyaring impeachment sa ating bansa? At nakikita nyo ba na dahil, kumbaga, marami pang mga dapat gawing pulido? Kasi hindi pa masyadong marami yung mga impeachment natin. Dapat gawing pulido yung lahat ng mga patakaran po. Unlike sa ibang mga krimen, unlike sa ibang mga issue na talagang laging paulit-ulit, no? Kaya pag lumapit sila sa Supreme Court, meron ng kumbaga na set na maraming mga batayan talaga. Unlike dito sa impeachment po, attorney.
Actually, Admar, kaya nga tinatawag itong sui generis, kasi unique talaga itong impeachment. May definition dito na political process, but at the same time, there has to be compliance with the constitutional requirements. Kasi sui generis ito, it has a life of its own. Tingnan mo nangyari kay Chief Justice Corona. How he was being vilified, how he was being demonized, na salin. Parang kinukondisyon kasi wala siyang wala siyang political capital to retaliate by way of yung propaganda. Wala siya, because judiciary, hindi man siya politiko, wala man siya mga followers, kasi it's a job away from the public. So kung walang tingnan mo, he was convicted, pero nakita natin after that na talagang manipulated iyon dahil may mga incentives yung mga political players na gumawa niyo. After all, si Chief Justice Corona, unfortunately he died when yung justice sa kanya was finally served, na after all, cleared pala siya. So, it's mabuti na ito si Vice President na maka-pushback siya dahil meron siyang political capital. So, kung ordinaryo lang na impeachable official, sasagasaan na lang dahil powerful talaga itong mga political bodies ito. Kasi political process ito. Tingnan mo, decision. Walang mangyari na impeachment kung walang go signal sa Malacanang. Take the case of yun nga, kay Chief Justice Corona. Kay former President Estrada naman, it was allegedly, naroon naman sa history, na talagang there was a conspiracy coming from yung mga political parties, mga businessmen, saka yung mga, sabihin natin, mga Gilo forces. If I recall, kasama pa ang Catholic Church noon, talagang merong widespread na conspiracy. So talagang natamaan siya pero hindi yun natapos ang impeachment process na yun.
Opo.
So, unique ito. Dapat lang na at this time na mayroong object, naging respondent, object of an impeachment complaint na mayroong political capital na kumbaga pa pushback. So, there is an opportunity for the Supreme Court to make a parang categorical definition as to what is really the extent of the power of the House. Kasi ganito yan tingnan mo, mag-evolve yan. Sa first case, yung last impeachment, ang discussion on is about the second mode, yung in case at least one-third of the members of the House shall sign the impeachment complaint, it will automatically become the articles of impeachment and trial in the Senate shall forthwith proceed. Yun man ang nakasabi sa Constitution, but the Supreme Court said, in that case, Duterte versus House, no, hindi ganun kadali yan. Kailangan pa yan ng mga discussion doon sa plenary, mga verification. So, may mga proseso pa. So, nalinawan na yung second mode. Yung first mode na idadaan mo na sa Committee on Justice, ito naman ngayon, whether the Committee on Justice can conduct mini trial. Kasi pag trial na pag-uusapan, outside of their jurisdiction na yan because the Supreme Court says, the Constitution states that the Senate shall have the sole power to try and decide all cases of impeachment. So, kung bakuran pa yan, parang lumundag na sila. So, that is an opportunity now for the Supreme Court to make a ruling naman as to what is the extent of yung hearing nila. Yung hearing ba ay trial ba? Kasi kung hearing lang, dapat, for example, yung rules nila na they can conduct parang direct examination, interpretation sa mga witnesses. But the lawyers of the respondent cannot conduct cross-examination. So, hindi naman yan fair. Yan yung mga punto ngayon na ni-raise doon sa Supreme Court. So, I don't like to go into the details of these issues kasi sub judice yan. But as of now, ang masasabi ko lang sa tanong mo, opportune time for the Supreme Court to make a decision, to make a categorical ruling to the limitations of the power of the House to initiate all cases of impeachment.
Para sa kasaysayan lang attorney no, sa kalaman ng lahat, meron pa lang 5 opisyal ang pina-impeach, no? 2 ang umabot sa impeachment trial sa Senado at isang
Yes.
kaso ang tuluyan lang natapos na nagresulta sa conviction, which is nabanggit mo nga itong si dating Chief Justice Renato Corona. So yung una nating impeachment ay way back 2000. Pina-impeach
Erap.
nila si President Erap Estrada, umabot sa Senado pero hindi natapos dahil nga sa EDSA 2, no? Tapos 2011, meron na namang ombudsman na
Silinas
pina-impeach,
Gutierrez.
tama? Pero nag-resign siya bago pa mismo ang trial, tapos yung kay Chief Justice Corona. And 2017, pinaka-last, yung COMELEC chairman Andres Bautista na impeach sa House pero hindi umusad sa trial dahil nag-resign. So, hindi pa ganun kahinog. Kumbaga kahit na 5 pa lang ito, wala pang, kumbaga marami pang dapat na masagot ng mga question para at least maging proper na sa next na
Okay.
kung
To
meron
continue,
pa.
to
Sige po.
continue, Adma,
Mm.
we only had one impeachment process that was completed.
Mm.
Isa lang, that was completed. And it was the case of former Chief Justice Corona. the Senate was very proud. Parang kung basahin natin yun, parang tagumpay yun kasi we were able to successfully conclude an impeachment process. Pero at the expense pala sa justice at the expense of the Constitution, at the expense of the fundamental rights of Chief Justice Corona. Yung hindsight ba, na at that very moment, historic in the sense na tapos, pero meron palang kuan yun eh. May story behind na meron mga violations na nagawa. Kasi tingnan mo, di ba, you were already a reporter at the time, meron lumabas yung because of the DAP,
Suhol.
nabigyan pala yung mga senators. Kaya nga, convicted si Chief Justice Corona. At saka yung media noon talagang, because it was really the desire of the former President Aquino dahil hindi sumunod si Corona sa gusto na mangyari about the case of Hacienda Luisita. So, makita mo yung, okay, the process was completed. Pero, paano ba na-complete? Paano ba na-convict si Chief Justice Corona? Salin. Now, yung salin, kasali na ba yan doon pa sa impeachment complaint that originated in the House? Wala. Doon na lang sa Senate. Ang point yan, kaya nga, at the time, the late Senator Miriam Santiago was arguing passionately kasi nakita niya yung injustices talaga at saka yung manipulation, yung whimsical at saka capricious exercise of power kasi impeachment court sila, panay, sumpina, kahit na hindi yung tingnan mo yung lawyer nila, how he tried to protect Chief Justice Corona, si Cuevas, o sa mga objection nila. Pero dahil political process yun, nanaig pa rin yung what is popular. So, it's parang tingnan mo, unique talaga, sui generis ito. Na at the end of the day, tingnan mo yung analysis, yung sinabi ni former Associate Justice Ascona. Because maybe they don't have the numbers in the Senate, pinapatagal nila ngayon dito sa House by parang resorting to this very questionable na proceeding, yung mini trial, para maka-create lang ng siguro maka-create lang ng narrative na baka dito makachamba tayo ng ebidensya, baka matamaan natin si Vice President. That should not be the case because the impeachment complaint na binalangkas ngayon ng Committee on Justice, limited lang sana sa what is being filed before the committee. So the committee cannot add by requiring additional evidence na hindi kasali doon sa dokumento na nandoon sa kanila. So, yan din, makita natin na how yung reality plays. So siguro evolution, pero ang tingin ko dito, being a political student, nag-aaral din tayo sa mga itong evolution na itong pangyari ito. It's all about political power game ito na kailangan talaga ng kung tingnan mo kung si Vice President Sara Duterte hindi pa yan strong candidate na wala na yan. Tingnan mo yan. Mayroon ng mga reluctance on the part of may mga signs na a number of congressmen are no longer supportive of the impeachment complaint because it's a political process. They are afraid of the political backfire, political backlash that they may face once they will make a judgment that is being political in character. So, manatili pa rin itong sui generis. It has a life of its own. Unique talaga ito. So, kahit na sa akin na ngayon, for purposes of yung academic discussion, Let us hope na a new doctrine can be created, a new principles in constitutional law regarding impeachment proceedings may come out of this. Eventually, the Supreme Court will make a ruling of this case.
Opo. Isang tanong lang po, attorney, tungkol dito pa rin sa impeachment bago ako lipat ng topic. No? Sa pagkakaalam po ninyo, pwede bang ma-overturn yung isang impeachment? Halimbawa, na naging convicted ka sa impeachment, umusad sa Senado, convicted ka. Yung parang kagaya sa kay Chief Justice Corona, pero pagdating sa korte, dinismiss naman yung kaso niya. Pwede bang ma-overturn yun, yung pagkaka-impeach mo?
Tingin ko ang impeachment court, the Senate as an impeachment court, supreme yan in cases of impeachment. Mukhang mahirap rin pag mag-convict na sila. Wala nang appeal yan doon sa Supreme Court. Theoretically, pwede because the Supreme Court is the final arbiter. It has also the duty to determine whether there is grave abuse of discretion amounting to lack or in excess of jurisdiction committed by any branch, instrumentality, agency of the government under Article 8, Section 2. Pero iba itong impeachment sui generis, kaya nga wala pang decision ng impeachment court na subject for an appeal to the Senate, to the Supreme Court.
At wala din tayong mga mga pangyayari noon pa na mayroon ding nag-question ito, no? Dahil hindi pa nga ganoon karami yung mga na-convict nga diyan. Lipat tayo dito sa issue naman ng kalusugan ng Pangulo. Ano pong sinasabi, kasi maraming mga balita ngayon na kesyo, may na-hospital, may cancer daw. Marami tayong mga naririnig po, attorney, tapos merong sinabi po ang Malacanang na naghahanda sila na maghain ng reklamo laban daw sa mga nagpapakalat ng mga malisyosong mga impormasyon patungkol sa kalusugan ng Pangulo. Hindi mo rin maisasantabi yung agam-agam ng ilan sa ating mga kababayan dahil nga biglang pagpayat, no? Namin na may diverticulitis, biglang bagsak ang pangangatawan ng Pangulo, merong mga absensya sa mga nakaschedule sana, matagal nang hindi nagpapakita yung Pangulo, yung mga ganyan po na mga usapin. Ano pong sinasabi ng konstitusyon patungkol po sa pagbubulgar? Obligado ba ang Pangulo na magbulgar ng kanya pong totoong kalagayan ng kanyang kalusugan?
Actually, Admar, ang constitutional architecture sa ating 1987 Constitution ay yung transparency. Matters of public concern shall be made available to the public. At saka ito namang about illness on the part of the President. We had experienced this. Yung time ng kanyang father, si former President, the late Ferdinand Marcos Sr. Na during sa yung last years ng kanyang presidency, mayroong mga issues about his health. The 1973 Constitution was silent about it. So there were so many allegations na talagang the president was not in his talagang was sick. So that situation was denied to the public. They did not disclose it. So, paano naman talaga yan? We can expect na, kasi power ito pero nakita yan ng 1987 Constitution, yung mga commissioners na to avoid a repetition of that episode. Kasi what is at stake din is our national security and survival. So, kaya nga, it's now part of the 1987 Constitution, specifically Article 7, Section 12. It expressly states that in case of serious illness of the President, the public shall be informed of the state of his health. So, meron ng requirement ang gobyerno, so ang administration, to inform the public kasi shall yan eh, imperative, shall inform the public of his, the state of his health. So, kaya nga, masama tingnan na sila ang obligado to inform the public. Sila pa ngayon ang nananakot lang sa publiko to file the cases will be filed against those who are peddling fake news. Dapat to prove that this is a fake news, they have to be transparent and inform the public about the state of the health of the president, because that is the mandate, that is the command of the Constitution. Kaya merong directive ang Constitution eh. Article 7, Section 12. Now, it does not set well na takutin ang tao na dapat obligado sila mag-inform kung anong talagang estado ng kalusugan ng ating Pangulo.
Opo, balikan natin kasi last 2020 ata, no? Meron ding isang individual na naghain ng petisyon dyan sa Korte Suprema para i-disclose ang kalusugan ng dating Pangulong Rodrigo Duterte. Doon kaibahan lang ngayon. Maraming mga pumupuna, maraming mga tumutuligsa sa dating Pangulo, maraming nagpapakalat ng maling impormasyon like kagaya sa cancer, pero wala tayong narinig na meron siyang kinasuhan, no? Wala tayong mga narinig na mga ganon. Pero meron nagdesisyon ng Korte Suprema noong 2020 doon sa petisyon na i-disclose ang kanyang kalusugan.
Please.
Opo. At ang sinasabi yata doon sa desisyon na ang presidente nakikita naman during COVID-19 yung mga televised address niya, which is masasabi ba nating kakaiba compare dito sa kasalukuyan?
Yes. Oo. Kaya nga, ngayon, we do not wish yung ill will ng ating presidente. Hindi maganda yan na mag-wish tayo ng masama sa kanya. We hope that he is in good health. Pero, kaya nga, yung perception na unwell, physically unwell siya, na-fueled yan because of his non-appearance sa mga events na kailangan niya kanyang presensya, mga cabinet meetings, wala siya. Ang nag-preside yung executive secretary lang. And mayroong mga clippings, mayroong mga video na talagang altered kasi nabubuhay pa si Secretary Enrile. So, para bang there is an effort to project an image na healthy siya. Sila rin ang may kagagawa na ang dahilan na naging yung speculation ay umiinit dahil yung denial ay hindi ba back up with evidence. So kung dapat talaga para once and for all matapos na ito, they have to come up with yung medical bulletin o hindi man yung appearance ng presidente. Saka kaya nga nagkamali din sila kasi may mga, as I said, yung mga video na nakita ko sa Facebook, I don't know kung nakita mo rin, Admar, na yung mga meetings doon na nandiyan pa si Enrile. Patay naman si Enrile. Ibig sabihin, manipulated. Tama ba yun, Admar? Yung mga video na yun?
Ang alam ko, yung sa mga video na nakita po ninyo, na mga report, no, ng ibang media, ang may nakataga naman nakalagay doon na file footages. May file footages kasing nakalagay doon. So na-misinterpret lang siguro nila, no? Dahil available kasi yan, yung mga videos na yan. Bihira lang kasi magkaroon ng video na inilalabas na merong mga meeting. Ngayon, puro pictures na nga lang yung nakikita, wala na yung videos, di ba? Like kay dating Pangulong Rodrigo Duterte, pag nagkaroon ng meeting, So may mga ganun. Pero dito ako sa concern kasi nga meron ding nagsasabi na baka ay sinadya yan para ang lahat ng mga sumakay dyan sa issue na yan na peke na mga makasuhan at matanggal ang kanilang mga Facebook page kasi ire-report, nagpapakalat ng fake news. Maaari din ba may katotohanan yan, attorney, sa tingin nyo po? Parang ano ba, pain, para may rason sila nakasuhan.
Adman, everything is a subject for speculation. Uh, lahat posibilidad yan, pero tingnan natin. Kasi anything, kaya sa ating, yung bang sa Bisaya kapag sulti ba, di ba? Anything is possible under the heat of the sun.
Oo nga po.
uh,
Opo. Pero itong mga pagkakaso, halimbawa, ang isang individual, wala siyang kalam-alam kung ano ba talaga ang katotohanan kasi wala namang sinasabi. Full disclosure nga, hanggang sa
Kaya nga,
napasabay lang siya ng comment, pwede ba siyang sampahan ng kaso, reklamo na pag nagpapakalat ng fake news? Bakit hindi na lang kaya maglabas ng full authority? Ano naman yung kaibahan niyan doon sa sinasabi po ng batas na dapat hindi maging balat sibuyas yung mga taong
kaya nga,
gobyerno?
Adman, hindi na ito parang obligation lang na personal obligation ng ating gobyerno. Ito ay command na ng konstitusyon. Article 7, Section 12 provides, kasi in-anticipate na itong mga senaryo na ito. When the framers of the 1987 Constitution drafted this Constitution, they have already anticipated this particular scenario na yung state of health ng presidente ay itatago sa publiko. Kaya nga mayroon ng constitutional provision na nagsabi na the public shall be informed of the state of the health of the president. So, it's a command. So, kung they will file a case against those who are allegedly peddling fake news, ito ang depensa nila. They should be informed. Kasi nandito naman sa Constitution yan eh. Wala sa mga alleged fake news peddler ang obligation to prove. Nandoon sa government nandoon ang kanilang onus probandi. Yung burden of proof nandoon sa gobyerno because that is the command of the Constitution. Kasi presidente ka eh. You are leading the 130 million ba? Ilan na ba tayo ngayon?
Mga nasa ganyan po. Oo, hundreds of millions na po tayo, attorney. Pero meron lang ako isingit, attorney.
Oh.
Hindi po ba pag nagtatrabaho ka sa private, no? Yung nagpapasahod sa iyo, halimbawa, mag-a-absent ka, hindi ka kasi meron kang sakit. 'Di ba minsan hinihingan ka ng medical certificate kung totoo ba? Kasi kumbaga meron siyang say, siya yung nagpapasahod. Ito yung possible na iisipin na ordinaryong tao. Kami, hinihingan kami ng mga medical certificate. Hindi lang yung sa school na excuse letter na to whom it may concern na absent ako kasi ganito, ganyan. Yun lang. Hinihingan kami ng medical certificate para mapatunayan na ikaw talaga ay nagkasakit. Bakit pag ganito, hindi tayo mapagbigyan na ang sabi nga ni Pino ay kayo ang boss ko, mga tao ang nagbabayad ng tax at nagpapasweldo sa mga taong gobyerno po, attorney.
Yun nga, pero alam mo, Admar, kung yung senaryo na sinabi mo ay pain lang ito, para sa akin, self-destructive yan na pain. Kasi, kunwari, kung target mo lang ay yung para mahuli yung mga fake news na peddlers. Pero yung damage sa mga tauhan mo, yung sa public, malaki. Kung you are parang self-destruction na eh. Malaki ang damage kaysa sa benefit. Yan ang tingin ko. So parang far-fetched na idea na parang pain yan para lang madakip yung mga take down yung mabura yung mga Facebook
Page.
post.
Opo.
Page. Parang para sa akin the cost benefit, kung cost benefit ang tingnan natin, costly masyado kaysa kaysa benepisyo na makuha nila.
Baka attorney, mas mauna pang mabilanggo itong mga nagpo-post lang sa social media kaysa doon sa mga korap.
Pero kung meron mang kaso siguro, hindi naman siguro yan. Billable man yan.
Opo.
Ang daming lawyers naman dyan na tutulong.
Opo.
Ako,
Kabilang na si
tayo.
Attorney Reserva. Attorney, dagang salamat sa imong oras o gayon. Sa ulitin, amping.
Kung kasuhan ka, I will volunteer. Maghanda ka lang piyansa mo.
Dagang salamat, attorney. Sa ulitin po, ingat po kayo. Si Attorney James Reserva, isang profesor po, nagtuturo po ng political at constitutional law po, mga kapartner. Ano bang masasabi ninyo? Abay, mag-comment na po kayo, mag-share. Maraming salamat po sa mga sumubaybay sa atin pong programa. Marami tayong mga natalakay sa kanya. Una, yung sa impeachment, doon sa kalusugan ng Pangulo at sa iba pa mga usapin, mga kapartner, na dapat tayo po ay may makialam. May pakialam pala. Wrong gramming ka naman. Huwag kalimutan mag-like, comment, share sa atin pong YouTube channel. Maraming salamat po sa inyong lahat, mga kababayan ko na nanood, nakinig at sumubaybay dito sa ating programang Makialam. Bukas po ulit ha. Dito pa rin sa DZR 1026 SMNA Radio. Maraming salamat po sa inyong pagsubaybay. Hanggang sa muli. Paalam.